Is Bray Wyatt versus The Miz the best Fiend rivalry since he's come back as The Fiend?
Whoa, deja vu.
Shut up. We've never done this before, Datsun. This is a brand new conversation that we've never had before. I'm Chopper Pete Quinnell. This is Randy Andy Datsun. Please give us a like and a subscribe. Welcome to the WrestleTalk live review of SmackDown. And get in your super chats, because we'll be going through those. They're back, and we're going to be going through those after the main talking point and at the end of the show as well. We've also got a couple other things to get through first. Go over to WrestleTalkMerch.com, because sweet designs like these,
Whoa.
you can get 15% off until tomorrow night at midnight. We did originally say it was Monday night at midnight, but we made a mistake. It's actually tomorrow night. So the 15th of December, midnight, 15% off.
And
Go
make sure you get it in,
stuff.
because that's the last day you can make sure you get all your presents for Christmas. Because I imagine all of our fans will only buy presents from WrestleTalk.com.
Of course.
And if you don't, then are you a fan?
Probably not. Couple other things. First off, happy birthday, Luke.
Yes, he
Whey!
has turned 30-something.
He has.
So happy birthday, Luke. He's off in London with his family, getting mildly tipsy. So we hope he has a lovely day. And you can see him with Ollie live tomorrow night on the TLC live reaction stream, which will start sort of, I imagine, 11 p.m. GMT, sort of 6 p.m. Eastern, and 3 p.m.
Totally.
Pacific.
Whatever it is in your time zone, yes, they'll be live tomorrow. And also, you may notice, it's Randy Andy Datsun.
If they hadn't noticed by now,
if you haven't
they will
noticed
have
somehow,
now.
wearing his Slytherin Christmas jumper, which is cool. He did so well last week that we brought him back this week.
Yes.
You guys have been calling for him to be back on camera for ages, and we brought him back, and you guys loved him. He was great. So now he's back again.
Now they've seen the front of my face, having only ever seen the side of my face.
That's
when
true,
I was
because
doing,
you were a producer.
and they're all horrified.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
Apart
sorry.
from, unless people have been fans of WrestleTalk since Evolution, then they would have seen the front of your face for that too. Yeah.
I just feel good because my hairline feels normal today.
Yeah, same, dude. And also, of course, sorry we're a little bit late going live today because we had technical issues. We thought we started the stream, streamed for about 7 minutes, and then Datsun was like, I don't think we're live.
I then noticed something on our screen over there, which looked like an error message. So then I checked on YouTube, and we weren't live. We were live on WrestleTalk.com, so if anyone was watching on WrestleTalk.com, thank you, and I'm sorry you've had to just watch the same conversation twice.
There you go. Anyway, let's get into what we actually want to talk about. Let's get into talking about Bray Wyatt and The Miz, because their match at TLC tomorrow is a non-title match.
Non-title.
And it's Bray Wyatt versus The Miz, not The Fiend. It's actually Bray Wyatt.
First Bray Wyatt appearance as Bray Wyatt in a ring.
In a ring. I know, crazy. So the build to it on this show I thought was fantastic, because there was an interview with The Miz at his home. So last week on SmackDown, there was obviously the terror that Bray Wyatt brought when he had the picture of Miz's family and he'd superimposed himself on it.
In that red room that Miz should just never have entered.
I know, yeah. But then this week, Miz was at home trying to protect his family a bit more, which was a nice touch. Renee Young went out to his house and did an interview. And I think the craziest thing about this interview was that there was actually 3 cameras.
There were 3 cameras.
And they live cut between 3 shots. I don't know. I don't know where they got that idea from.
They've been watching. We'll let you in, WWE.
They've been watching us. Anyway, it was a really nice interview because, one, Renee Young is really bloody good at interviewing, especially in this kind of style. And Miz is really, really good. He felt so genuine with this.
Along with sort of Daniel Bryan, he has turned into one of WWE's best just kind of actors. He may not be the best wrestler. He'll never be the best wrestler they've got. But he is one of the best actors by a long way. He can make me actually sort of believe what he's saying. I know the man he is facing is a fiend, a demon.
But he makes us feel real, damn it.
It makes me actually think, wow, his family is in danger. That baby is in peril. Speaking of which.
Speaking of, yeah. So Renee was asking him various questions, and she wasn't asking dumb WWE questions either.
No.
It was like, how come you've been getting so involved with Daniel Bryan again? And then she said, I was there for that Talking Smack segment where it all went, crazy, and you guys got so heated and all that stuff. So it was really nice for her for her to be there, it was a nice touch for character development, but also for Miz was talking about his family. You mentioned on the first time we tried to stream that, he started to get like choked up when he was talking about his family, which was great. And he says that he can't get that image out of his head of his family and Bray Wyatt there on it. And then, just as Renee's asked him another question, you can hear Maurice, way off camera, just starts yelling out, "Mike!" like really like scared. So he just sprints out from the interview, goes straight up to her. And we have mixed feelings on this next bit, but they have a tablet, an unbranded tablet, which has got like a baby monitor feed on it of their daughter Monroe. And you can see her playing around with her dolls. And then it just cuts in, and it's Bray Wyatt on the Firefly Funhouse set. And he's laughing, and then it cuts to very serious Bray Wyatt, and he says, "Let me in." And it cuts back to Monroe. But this time, now she's surrounded with an Abby the Witch, and a Huskus the Pig, and a Mercy the Buzzard. Wah!
If you can find me a baby monitor camera that is that good quality, I just think it could have been better with those classic, just
the sound ones,
simple audio. I mean, I'm really nitpicking here because I thought the whole segment was great, but I felt like if it just had audio and something going "yowie wowie" or "let me in," or something like that, or even just his laugh.
Yeah, his laugh would be
great. Or him singing like a really creepy lullaby. Something like that, because it's a baby.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they see this happen, and then it's like a clip of Bray Wyatt saying, "Let me in," and it's all looking very scary. So they'll run upstairs to try and see what's going on.
Yeah, but interestingly, when they get to the door, there's the red light coming from inside the room that we saw on the room from last week as well. And then Miz is there. He doesn't go in. Maurice joins him because she was running up the stairs behind him, and then he goes, "Yeah, in you go."
Yeah.
And he gets Maurice to go in first, which is just like...
So as much as he says he's not scared, there's a little bit in him which is kind of like... No,
I really don't want to go in this room.
Because I hope he won't punch you.
Yeah.
So... Or give you a Sister Abigail.
But then
so you go in.
It really makes him look... I don't want to say heelish, but almost like cowardly, because it's like his daughter's in there.
Yeah.
He needs to go, and he keeps saying that he's like the protector of his family, and he's at home this week to protect his family. And then when it comes to actually protecting his family, he goes, "Maurice, go first."
She's a former Divas champion.
She is a former Divas champion.
So actually,
but yeah, so they enter the room. They pick up Monroe. Wouldn't you have thought, out of the 4 people that were in this segment, of Renee Young, Miz, Maurice, Monroe,
yeah,
Monroe is the best actor.
She was fantastic.
She was amazing.
She had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
She was thinking, what are Mummy and Daddy doing? And why have I got a new weird toy that I don't want to have in my crib? I guess they call it cot here.
Cot, yeah.
And she was like looking terrified.
She was terrified.
Crying. She was whining. And it was so perfect because she wasn't like hysterical.
No.
She was crying enough so that every now and then Miz could just go, it's okay, don't worry.
Exactly.
We're here, don't worry about it. And it was just, it all sort of flowed together perfectly. So well done, Monroe, and I can't wait for your debut in 16 years because that was fantastic.
She was really, really good. And they rush into the cot, and she, as Maurice kind of picks her up, they're all just kind of comforting her, and she just points at the cot. Yeah. And I was like, how does she know to do that? And Miz just kind of turns around and grabs up the doll. Yeah. It's a really, really creepy doll with blonde hair with the Fiend mask painted on it. Super duper creepy. Yeah. And then he's like, "Where did you get this?" And she's just like, and just starts like crying and squirming and stuff. It was like, this is so great.
Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. Walmart. Yeah. But then, and then Miz and Maurice get really serious. They're like, "Right, camera crew, out. Yeah. We're done. Get out." Yeah. And I was like, this is perfect. It sells the situation so perfectly.
Real.
Yeah, it feels like real.
If someone was breaking into my house and someone was trying to film a documentary or an interview with me, that's probably how I would react, because I would feel threatened.
If we were filming a stupid skit for WrestleTalk, and we happened to be at your place, and we found out that someone had broken in and gave your daughter a creepy doll, I'm sure you'd be like, "Right, everyone out, right now."
Strange way to reveal that I've got a daughter. I don't.
So yeah, that segment just ends with the camera crew just leaving, and I thought that was a perfect way to end it. And then it gets capped off with its own Firefly Funhouse segment back at the arena. It comes back and the commentators say things. I wasn't really listening. Cuts in with the Firefly Funhouse music, and then the creepy doll that we just saw at the Miz's house is there on the Firefly Funhouse set.
Apparated.
in fairness, the interview did say it was earlier today, so
Yes,
there's
exactly.
probably time there, but still. Bray Wyatt comes in, he goes, I was just trying to be nice. Aww, etc. The kids say. And he says, he says that Daniel Bryan is still with him. He's still with the Fiend, which is why Bray Wyatt is having this match with The Miz, because he's busy with Daniel Bryan. Exactly. It's great. And he says, I really like this touch as well. He says he's trained himself to not feel pain. He says it's just a chemical reaction.
It's something that's kind of played into these matches because, like, even though he's been like hit with a chair, hit with a ladder, hit with everything under the ring, there's never been a bit where he's kind of going, oh, he's never selling. He just kind of falls.
He's just down.
He just falls over. And then even when he like got that horrible rest stoppage at Hell in a Cell, he just got up afterwards anyway. So you can really buy into that whole I don't feel pain gimmick that he's got.
Yeah.
And he's sort of telling The Miz to do the same. So he's sort of inviting The Miz into his kind of creepy world.
Yeah. And he says, I can teach you how to not feel love as well, which is great when the whole feud is kind of surrounding Miz's family. Great stuff.
But all you have to do
let me in.
Let him in. And also, the Marine 5 is fire.
It's fire. Best in the series.
Yeah.
Great quote.
I'm sure it is. I've never seen it.
So I thought that was fantastic. And I'd say, back to the actual title of the stream itself, I think in 2 weeks, this has been the best build to a Bray Wyatt / Fiend match since he's come back with the Fiend gimmick.
Yeah, because you've had Finn Balor, which kind of was... It was just a way of introducing the Fiend, and it was really effective.
And it was great.
Absolutely.
But the build itself wasn't great.
It wasn't. It wasn't actually it wasn't
proper
really
build.
a feud.
Yeah, exactly.
Seth Rollins, as we know, was horrible.
It was terrible.
And I want to forget it.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan, I think, still has the kind of potential to be better than this.
Totally. Yeah.
But they've done Bryan and Bray have worked together brilliantly to kind of elongate their feud, which will probably culminate hopefully at Royal Rumble. I hope they don't extend it further.
Yeah.
But as of now, I'm really into this feud. I mean, Miz is going to lose, and you can't have Miz win with a skull-crushing finale.
Yeah, exactly.
But
the thing is, though, with this, I think with the build they had for Daniel Bryan and the Fiend was great. Really, really liked it, but I felt like a lot of it was kind of insinuated because a lot of it was like, you used to be in the Wyatt family. We have this history together. Therefore, we must have this match.
Yes.
Whereas this one, I think, is a lot more overt. It's like, I'm messing with your family, and you have to respond to that. It's a lot more like the build is happening now rather than the build happened a few years ago, and we're playing off that, which is still an effective build, don't get me wrong, but I think this one is just a lot more effective in the current day.
And it's got the what's going for it is that we've seen the Fiend wrestle a few times now, but we've never seen this new Bray Wyatt wrestle.
Yeah.
And so it's got the intrigue, and it's something that I really want to see. I want to see if the way he wrestles is different. I want to see if the way he kind of carries himself. I want to see if his entrance is different. Is he just going to come down straight to 5-5 Funhouse?
Funhouse music, totally.
Cheering and stuff. There's not going to be any of that. So I think it's going to be really interesting. I mean, I think he's going to have the same finisher and things like that. I don't think that's going to be any different. But it's almost more creepy the way he's doing it now because he's now kind of mortal, should we say?
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. And I think another interesting thing that they're playing off is that the Fiend changes people. So same, with Balor he turned heel, and with Rollins he's turned heel, and with Bryan we think he's probably going to change. He's probably going to have a haircut at least by the time he comes back. But I don't know whether Miz will change because he's facing Bray Wyatt. He's not facing the Fiend.
No, exactly.
So I think that's a nice way to still build the character but not have Miz change much about himself, if that makes sense.
And I hope they don't. Either Bryan will return on Sunday or tomorrow night, or he'll return
the SmackDown after.
Either way, I think both work.
Yeah.
I think better on Friday, just because you can kind of have the Fiend go sort of do his 5-5 Funhouse, and then sort of talk about how he destroyed the Miz and like got into his family, all that sort of stuff, and how the Miz had to forced to let him in, and then you can have Bryan return. I think if you bring Bryan back too early, then you've still got like sort of 6-7 weeks to build, and it's the sort of the Christmas period where no one's really watching.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it.
And
I think it'll be a great match. And if you're looking forward to it, Join Ollie and Luke tomorrow night for their live streams of the show.
Yeah, watching TLC live.
Lovely time with the boys and probably eating some food far too close to the microphone.
Exactly, yes. They'll be doing live reactions tomorrow night, and Laurie and I will be doing a full WrestleTalk live review on the Monday as well.
And WrestleTalk.com.
And WrestleTalk.com.
We'll be covering it live.
I'm assuming live tweeting as well.
Live tweeting, live coverage. So, join us for that full coverage.
Yes, but let's see what you guys thought of this segment. Let's get into some Suit Super Chats real quick. Spencer O says, Miz made Maurice enter the room first, crying with laughter emoji twice.
Yes, that's what we said. It's interesting.
Is he a coward?
I really hope that was on purpose.
Me too. It seemed like he was, because he got to the door first, stopped, Maurice came to him, and then he went, in you go.
Yeah, because the Miz is clever enough to sort of think of that.
Totally.
If it was anyone else, I'd think, oh, that's just how they happen to be standing.
Miz and Bray Wyatt are the two minds behind
this.
And
I think Daniel Bryan's probably got some input on this as well.
Absolutely.
They've been given a lot of creative freedom in this, and it's great to see.
It's great, yeah. The Line Drive says the answer is clearly yes, that this is the best rivalry for Bray since debuting this new character. However, it seems odd this is being done in December. Perhaps a slow build to Miz versus Bryan at Mania. I could see that. If Bryan comes back kind of changed.
As a heel, yeah.
As a heel. Not necessarily like a follower of Bray, but he's changed how he is. Because that's the thing. It's so weird as well, because he was a heel and he just turned face. And then Bray's just going to make him turn heel again. I'd really like that if they do that.
I think that's a cool way of doing it. I think, like I said again, if it was someone else who I don't think could sort of pull it off, but I think Bryan is more than capable of pulling this sort of thing off.
Absolutely, yeah. The Line Drive again says, do you think this Miz versus Bray feud is leading to some sort of long-term Bryan versus Miz Mania feud with Miz trying to save Bryan? Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the title plans are for The Fiend heading into Mania or Rumble.
The rumor, I almost rolled my R there, sorry. Sorry, Ollie. The rumor is that it will be The Fiend versus Roman Reigns, because Roman
totally, because he's going to win the Rumble.
So apparently going to win the Rumble, because that's how you build new stars like Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And on the other side, apparently it's going to be Brock versus Cain Velasquez. 3.
Don't really want to see that, if I'm honest. Kevin comes in to say, also, Monroe is better at selling than Rollins.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Absolutely true. Yeah. Final one for now. The Prime Craig said, be honest, please. Do you think Liv Morgan is the doll, and what do you think the doll represents to Bray Wyatt, past/future?
I think that's been speculated for a long time. I think not after last week. I don't know if you saw.
The makeover thing.
The makeover thing. If that's leading to her makeover being this in the Firefly Funhouse, I think it's a very weird way of doing it.
I mean, the only reason I can see them doing that is to literally throw them off the scent. So it's to be like, look, she's having this crazy, wacky makeover. And then she comes back the week after just like, oh yeah, she's a follower of Bray
I want her
Wyatt,
to come back. I really like Liv Morgan. I'm one of those...
You're one of those,
I'm one of those fans who just likes her for apparently no reason. Yeah. Because she hasn't really done anything for about a year.
Yeah.
But of the Riot Squad, she's definitely in the top 3. That's what I'd say.
Anyway, let's get into the rest of the show. So this week's show kicked off with a recap of Roman versus Ziggler last week and the whole dog food incident and what happened with that. The editing on this was hilarious because they kept cutting to shots of the crowd being like, no, with hands over their mouths.
It was as if they'd just gone, oh, we need some actual reaction. They've gone, right, WrestleMania 30, Undertaker, just cut some of that in. You're going to have people going, oh my God, that's dog food.
No way. Dog food.
It was a bit corny. They were trying to make it sound like he'd actually been hurt.
Yeah.
Rather than had some meat tipped on him.
Dog food.
Not for the first time we'll see meat in this
How's
show,
he even still walking this week? But the show itself actually kicks off with King Corbin coming out on his sedan chair, etc. Ziggler's already in the ring waiting for him, and they cut a promo on the smelly, disgusting
Ziggler looking like a B-list celebrity trying to hide himself on a bus, kind of with a SmackDown cap. Yeah. It was as if he'd done a tour of SmackDown, and they'd gone, right, now you finish the tour, we've got a bit of surprise, you get this hat.
And some sunglasses, some blue sunglasses.
He looked. Obviously his hair was impeccable. But,
totally. They cut a promo. He says he's going to beat Roman and become the sole leader of SmackDown on Sunday. He got a "You look stupid" chant.
Talked about how great his 2019 was. He's beat Kurt Angle. He's a King of the Ring winner. and now he's going to humiliate Roman at TLC.
They said it was going to be a quick promo. They were lying. Ziggler attempted to do an all hail King Corbin kind of chant before they get interrupted by the New Day. Oh, Cream City!
And I called you Queen. Queen over here thought that he'd said Queen City, which
I had no idea.
And I said,
that's,
no, Pete.
That's Charlotte, North Carolina.
No, Pete. I'm pretty sure they said Cream City, and Pete said, "No, that's stupid. Why would it be?
Why would it be Cream City?"
But it turns out Milwaukee, for people who don't know, is called the Cream City.
Called the Cream City
because all the bricks are yellow cream coloured. So
the more you know.
Every day. Yeah.
The New Day do some local pops for Milwaukee, and they say that Corbin has a Burger King crown. Corbin then called out Kofi for losing the WWE Championship to Brock Lesnar in 7 seconds, and at this point, I was like, oh, finally.
Yeah, they've acknowledged it.
Like, Kofi can get a chance now to be like, hey, this happened, but here's how I felt about it.
Yeah.
Here's my motivations going after it. And look, I'm a tag champ now, so, everything's not so bad. But yeah, it kind of got me down, but I fought back after it and all that stuff. No, what he said instead was, actually, it was 8 seconds, so...
Psych.
Yeah, got you good. It's, Kofi, that's so lame. And then he followed it up with being like, I'm still a champion of the people.
Yeah, and then it took about...
It's a bad line.
It took about 20 seconds for someone in the crowd to go, Kofi. It was a bad segment.
It is a terrible segment.
It sort of shows how bad it was when Big E and Kofi can't save a promo segment.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
because it wasn't. I mean, they did get a bit of heat, Corbin and Ziggler, when they were sort of saying, "Oh, what's that smell? Oh, it's the people.
The smelly, disgusting
but it
people.
Could be the dog food." Yeah. So they got a bit of kind of very cheap heat.
Yes.
But it was about 20 minutes, that opening segment.
Yeah, it was long.
It was completely unnecessary. You
Yeah.
could have had them meet backstage for a minute and just go, oh, let's have a fight in the main event, which is what we got for the main event later on.
Yeah, it was Kofi Kingston versus King Corbin was set up. Kofi did a slap at one point to him.
Yeah.
And then Corbin was like, I'm going to humiliate you. And then he walked away.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever. And then we got Ziggler and Corbin were backstage after that. We had a bit of an ad break and stuff. Came back. Ziggler and Corbin backstage. And they mentioned in their promo that Roman Reigns is not going to be here tonight because they've got every window and entrance covered by their security.
Someone should do some research. Last 20 years, when someone said, he's not here tonight, if there's ever been a time where that was actually true. Because I don't think there will be.
No, totally not.
And they go backstage, and Roman has decided to... Or no,
we don't know who.
Has beaten up just 2 bleached blonde people. Like, there was one Ric Flair lying outside, and then there was another guy with horrible, long, bleached blonde hair.
Yeah.
Lying there, and they're going...
What's happened?
Who could have done this?
Who did this? What does this mean?
Rowan.
God. I mean, almost. Just change one letter. And then I wrote here, come on, guys, we're not idiots.
No.
I think this would have been fine. This was a story-wide show. This happened again another time where they found some guards.
Because it just makes them look stupid.
It makes them look dumb.
And we don't want stupid heels.
And the worst thing is, I think in their heads, we also aren't supposed to know who's done it. So then it's like... Who could it be, everyone?
It's also that sort of pantomime thing where, what's it called when the crowd knows?
It's a term, I do know it. When the crowd knows something but the actors
everyone's
don't.
Be commenting this.
It's dramatic irony.
That's the one. So yeah, everyone knows that it was Roman. Like everyone knows it was Roman. There's not even like 4-year-old kids sitting at home thinking,
who was that?
I knew that was. Yeah, it was just a bad storyline throughout the night. It was mildly saved right at the end.
Yes, it was.
But we'll talk about that later.
We then get a recap of Mandy Rose versus Alexa Bliss from last week, where she pulled off her very real, her actual eyelashes got pulled out, guys.
Disgusting.
They're
behavior.
very real. And it's made this feud so personal because she pulled out her very, very real and not fake eyelashes.
Because apparently, according to Michael Cole, eyelashes are all attached to one long eyelash that goes along the middle. And next Michael Cole will be going, oh my God, she's ripped her lips off when she just got a wet wipe just rubbing her mouth. Yeah, it's not a feud that I'm getting into. And that's not their fault. They've just been given terrible...
It's a terrible story, for one. And there's no time in it either, because this one was supposed to be Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Alexa and Nikki are backstage in gorilla position having an interview, and in actually a pretty good moment, Mandy and Sonya, they run out, they were already in the ring, they run up the ramp, go into gorilla, and start beating down on Alexa and Nikki in gorilla position. I was like,
I was so surprised by that I went, oh.
Yeah.
That's how good it was.
Oh, that's cool. And then they kind of brawled outside. They got into the ring. Tag match started. I was like, all right, that was a unique way to start it off. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
Didn't go anywhere because it went for about a minute.
And the cameras missed the finish.
The camera missed the finish because they went for a double suplex. Alexa Bliss on the outside grabs Mandy Rose's leg, pulls her to the outside. The camera follows Mandy Rose to the outside. Meanwhile, in the ring, the finish is happening. Nikki Cross hits a neckbreaker for the win. But we don't see that.
We see 2, 3, and
I guess she won.
She won.
Yeah.
Could have been any move. Luckily, they did show a replay. I mean,
yes.
Luckily, whatever. They showed a replay of the finish, and it was, her normal finisher.
And it's like...
And...
granted, it's not a very good story.
I bet you 10 Wrestle League... No. So this will be another match next week.
Totally.
Because they don't know what they're doing.
Or a match on the pre-show at TLC.
There'll be a quota. Oh.
Yeah.
There'll be a quota. You have to have 2 women's segments a week. And they've just gone...
And they've gone bare minimum.
Let's just do a repeat of last week, but let's make it a tag match.
Exactly, yeah.
And it was the same result. And no one in the crowd cared.
But I can't blame them.
Why would they? Yeah.
Why would they care? They've been given a terrible story and absolutely no time to develop it. So, what can you do? But then we get a backstage segment of Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's Heavy Machinery come into shot. And they say, oh, it's Secret Santa got you a gift. Otis, both of them in their Santa hats. Otis gives him this little gift. And Sami is like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Christmas gift. So he kind of opens it up and it's a ham. And that's bad for 2 reasons. Because... not only is Sami a vegan, he's also a Muslim.
Yeah.
So they definitely can't have ham. So he goes off on Otis, saying this is the worst gift I've ever received.
What did he call him? He called him a dumb oaf.
He called him a dumb oaf. And then Otis kind of gives him an angry look and he kind of backs off to be like classic Sami heel-ness. Just backing off to be like, hey, now, before you do anything, we all said some stuff that we didn't mean, etc. But then Cesaro and Nakamura kind of flank him, and he's just saying, yeah, and we will beat you up later. I was that's great Sami stuff.
And so then Cesaro grabs the ham and does a World's Strongest Slam, or a World's Strongest Ham.
I don't know if we should invite you back next week.
Hey, that joke was... people liked that joke last week in the comments. Pedigree chum.
World's Strongest Ham to the floor, and Otis sold this amazingly. He just went... and then just went, duck it!
Otis is great. The best thing on SmackDown.
He's so good.
Apart from The Fiend, obviously.
Apart from The Fiend. But mainly Otis. But then we get a really fun tag match, actually, which was Shorty G and Mustafa Ali versus The Revival.
Hey, Pete, I've got a really good idea for a tag name for... Shorty G and Mustafa Ali that no one else has thought of. It's Ali G.
Yeah, which we said when they first started tagging all that time ago.
You heard it here first.
And second,
Pete
and
was
third.
Pete was so impressed when I suggested that.
He literally suggested that to me in the office earlier today when he was watching SmackDown. He said, they should be called Ali G. I was like, mate, it's an old joke. Anyway, Dash Wilder falls over on his entrance. LMAO. But the match itself was very, very fun. It was a short match. It didn't go very long. There was a few spots, went to an ad break, came back, and then kind of hot tag sequence happened and the finish happened. But there were some really cool near falls and some fun sequences in this.
It was great. Yeah, there were some great bits. There was the double splash with the 450, which he sold as if Dash Wilder had like a knife on his stomach. But yeah, it just built to a really nice kind of finish where you'd seen Ali go for
a tornado DDT
before, and miss it. So then he sort of tried to do it again, but straight into a shatter machine.
Shat machine, yeah. Which was it was super duper rad.
Yeah,
it was a great spot.
And because all four of them are so good, they executed it brilliantly.
Yep.
And the Revival take on the New Day tomorrow night.
Yep, in a ladder match.
In a ladder match, which is going to be amazing. Ollie is very excited.
Yeah, it should be very, very good. This was a very fun match, put over the right people who are going to be having the match for the tag titles. And it was really, really good. It didn't make Shorty G and Ollie look particularly bad either. No. It just looked like the Revival were really good.
But I don't think they should be a tag team.
I mean, they're all right.
I mean, they're okay for now, whilst they haven't actually got anything else to do.
That's true.
I mean, they're small, so they're not going to get over anyway.
Of course. But how could someone small ever get over?
Exactly. I mean, but yeah, no, it was a good match.
It was fun.
And it was the best match on the card by
a long way. Best match on the show.
It didn't have a lot to compete with in terms of matches.
That's true, yeah. Then we're backstage with Kayla Braxton. She's interviewing Bayley, and she says that Sasha's away off recording a rap album, which is why she's not here this week.
Add that to the Christmas list of things I don't want.
Yeah. She starts running down Lacey Evans, but then Elias interrupts with Dana Brooke, and Bayley walks over to him and says, "You interrupted my interview. I'm the champion, etc." And he says, "Oh, don't worry, Bayley, because I've picked you in Secret Santa." It's not how Secret Santa works. No. But he says, "Don't for Secret Santa, I've got you a song." So he does a little song and he runs her down, which the first line was funny.
But then he starts talking about how she wants to have a threesome with him
something
and Sasha.
Like that. Oh no, I think Father Christmas said to him that he should have a threesome with Bayley and Sasha, and he was like, "No thanks."
And then he said something about her being rude, and then rhymed it to say that her new haircut makes her look like a dude. And you can just see Vince going, "Ha ha 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 ha," in the background, like, "Oh, she's got a new haircut. Oh, she looks like a bloke."
Exactly.
Vince saying bloke. He looks like a bloke. No. She looks like a dude. You can just see him writing that.
Totally.
And it started well. And when I say started well, it had one good line in it.
The first line was good when he was saying like her face haunts him like the ghost of Christmas past. I was like, that's funny.
Everyone's saying Elias is a face. He bullied Drake Maverick.
It's fine, Datsun.
He bullied Bayley.
It's fine because they're heels, so they can get bullied, because bullying is okay if you're doing it to someone who's not very nice.
I have ethics. Bayley's not even that not nice. She's just kind of turned on the fans a bit because they never cheered her.
Exactly.
Which is sort of more understandable. But
fine.
calling someone a dude because they've got a haircut is the most playground.
I know. It's not great.
Pointless. And this whole kind of... What is it they do? The anti-bullying.
Be a star.
Yeah. So but then twice a year we have these bullying.
The thing is,
storylines.
If that was flipped, where Bayley was the face and Elias is the heel, we'd be like, "What a bully!"
Yeah.
What a bully. But you know who else found it hilarious though? Dana Brooke.
She found it so hilarious.
So funny
that Bayley challenged her to a bad match.
Yeah.
She didn't say, "I'll challenge you to a bad match," but
she said, "I'll challenge you to a match."
We knew it was coming, but Dana Brooke has now mastered the art of, if I do a flip, it'll hurt more. In fact, she did two in a row.
She did do two of them with like a handspring elbow.
Handspring, soft elbow.
Yeah. My two notes for this match are Brooke hits a sunset powerbomb out of the corner, and then Bayley comes back, kicks her knee out, does her new finisher facebuster thing, and the commentators absolutely no-sell it.
Yeah, her kind of knee,
literally,
rubbing your knee.
It's her thing where she kind of just does the face into the floor, and the commentators are just like, "Oh, face first." And she's got the cover. Is that it? Yes, it is.
It was as if they forgot that she'd changed her finisher.
It was exactly that. Yeah, exactly.
They kind of went, oh yeah. Match is over. Well, of course it is. That's her move.
Exactly. And very, very quickly they were like, "Oh, great win for Bayley." And now let's do a recap of the Fiend versus Miz. It was like really like move along. Yeah. So women's division has been given zero.
Yeah.
Like, total time for this week is probably about 4 minutes.
Yeah,
for 2 segments.
I was writing a script for Ollie, for one of his Christmas scripts, and I was sort of just talking about how the lack of Ronda Rousey has just killed this division.
Totally, it has.
And I can see that if Ronda Rousey comes back, they'll do an Evolution 2. If she doesn't come back, there will never be another Evolution. Because they just don't care anymore.
No, they don't.
They cared when it was Ronda. They cared when it was Becky, Ronda,
because they feel like they can make money off
Charlotte, because they are the money makers. But anyone else, they just couldn't care less.
They
and it shows every week, and it's really quite sad to see because Bayley's great, Sasha Banks is great, Dana Brooke, whatever. But and
I will say for Dana Brooke, she's improved a lot.
She does actual moves now. She did a sunset flip powerbomb. I couldn't believe it. She did a swanton a couple of weeks ago. So
like she's a lot better than she was. She's not on the same level as,
She's Charlotte Flair's protege.
Yeah, she was once upon a time. After that, we get another Sheamus promo in a dark corridor.
Yeah, Irish music. Him going,
saying the same thing.
SmackDown.
SmackDown's changed.
It's now the home of wimps and weaklings.
Yeah.
It's a home without a heart. Celtic Warrior has returned.
Same promo as before.
But I still can't. I mean, he's probably a heel, isn't he?
Yeah, totally.
So he's coming back to. I feel like I'm just more ambiguous about these things because everyone's sort of like. When he says, "I'm coming back to bring the heart to back to SmackDown Live," if Ali said that, you'd be like, "Oh,
what a great babyface!"
What a great babyface!
But I feel like though the context there is, I'm going to bring the heart back, and I'm going to crush anyone that doesn't stand in my way. I believe was the next line. So
he's foreign, so of course he's a heel.
Of course he's a heel. Yeah. So it's the same promo as before, but I'm still excited to see him back. After that, we got the Miz interview that we talked about before, and then we get Heavy Machinery versus Cesaro and Nakamura. And this was also a fun match.
It was fine. It wasn't as good as the one earlier, but it was the second best match on the show.
It was.
And it helps massively when the crowd care. And the crowd cares about Otis.
Otis is so over.
So over.
It's ridiculous. Sami Zayn's still the greatest thing during Nakamura's entrance.
Yeah.
It was still amazing.
I turned around to Pete while I was watching this saying, has Nakamura got backing dancers? And it was just Sami Zayn.
Just Sami Zayn.
Doing that.
It was great.
There
was a great shot in this match where Nakamura hits his running knee in the corner to whoever it was. They were laid across the top rope and hit the knee in the corner. And the camera just kind of stays there for a second. And just across the bottom corner, Sami Zayn's face just comes in and just goes, like across the shot. It was so good.
He's fantastic.
I love Sami Zayn so much. There were massive "We Want Otis" chants during this. Otis got a really nice hot tag sequence.
Yeah.
Otis taking his top off is like Angel Garza taking his trousers off. The crowd go mental when he takes his top off.
He has the body of an angel.
It's amazing. Otis yells out, "I'm coming!" And Graves says, "Interesting proclamation."
Yeah.
Interesting proclamation
by
Otis.
That was the one bit of good comment. Can you talk quickly to talk about the commentary this evening?
It's pretty bad.
Because it was awful.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
After the Miz Wyatt segment, you've got Graves going, "Oh man, that was there's some things you just don't do." And for the rest of the night, he's just a terrible heel.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of going, "Oh, look at Sami Zayn, he's so great," and Cole's kind of being the annoying babyface. Those two together, they need a third wheel.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Renee Young because unfortunately it didn't really work with her, but someone who can distract them from just being
annoying.
You're wrong. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong.
Yeah.
No, you're more wrong.
Exactly, yeah.
It was a bad night for commentary. But let's not get too negative. It was a fun match.
It was a fun match.
It was sort of well booked. Sami Zayn, Otis was going for the Caterpillar. Sami Zayn distracts him. Otis gets thrown out the ring by Cesaro. Nakamura hits a Kinshasa for the win on Tucker.
So Zayn, useful for the heels, which is good.
Yeah.
And it allows Shinsuke, IC champ, to get another pinfall victory, which is good.
And it means that we are not getting the rumoured match, because there was a rumour for a while that Braun Strowman was going to set up a match with Shinsuke Nakamura, but he has back spasms, some kind of back injury, and seems to be out for a bit longer than first thought, which is a bit worrying, but hopefully he'll be back soon because there's only so many weeks you can get out of Shinsuke tagging.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Corbin and Ziggler are backstage again with more guards talking to them. We get a recap of Batista and NWO going in the Hall of Fame. They say the original 4 of the NWO, which is just straight up not true, but hey, I guess if you just say it, it's true now. And then we get the main event, which is Kofi Kingston versus Baron Corbin, and we get another recap of Roman Reigns getting dog food over him again.
So we had Baron and Dolph backstage finding the broken
the broken
throne
sedan chair,
thing, whatever. But yeah, and then that was main event time, and AR is horrible.
It's terrible, isn't it? Those little things. The New Day one, I'll say, looked okay.
The banners for Corbin just look
awful,
horrendous.
They're really, really bad. And they're going to date.
I feel like
horribly.
we're spiraling into negativity.
Yeah, they're going to date horribly. There's some STD chants for Corbin. This match, I would say, is a match. It was
like the
fine.
main event from last week where no one expected it to finish, and that was the problem because the crowd didn't care. Like the crowd thought Roman's turning up, Roman's turning up, Roman's turning up. It was just a matter of when's Roman
turning up. Yeah. As it turns out for this match, he didn't. Because it gets to a point where it looks like Kofi Kingston's going to win. He managed to hit an SOS and a boom drop. He's winding up for the Trouble in Paradise, but then Ziggler grabs Kofi's ankle. Plain view of the ref, by the way, which should be a DQ, but ref just goes, no, that's fine. Ziggler, you're out of here. Eject Ziggler from the match. Ziggler goes up the ramp, goes out, then comes right back down and starts beating up Big E on the outside. Kofi then goes to beat up Ziggler and punches Ziggler while Ziggler's still punching Big E. Corbin then hits Kingston, and then the match gets thrown out.
Yes.
Which is when all the legal people were hitting the legal people, and the non-legal people were hitting the non-legal people.
Speaking of legal people, the match we talked about earlier, I'm convinced that neither Nakamura or Tucker was the legal man. So
totally.
It was a bad night for legal people.
I don't know if they might have been. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Tucker was.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know about Shinsuke.
So
whatever.
It got thrown out, and then they were like, "Oh, let's have a tag match."
Big E was just like, "You want a match? We've got a match right now." It's like, says who?
He
sure.
Theodore longed it.
Yeah. So then we have a tag match of Big E and Kofi versus Dolph and Barrett,
which got 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, and again for this match, it was a match. It was just kind of everyone's still waiting. It's like, so where's Roman then?
Yeah. And then they got the handcuffs out, and then it was DQ.
And then it got
the
thrown
world's
out.
longest handcuffs. The whole point of I know that they're setting up a spot, but the whole point of handcuffs is that you can't move your hands when you're in them.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is to restrain you. He's got these handcuffs, and he could be doing the YMCA in these things. And yeah, and then they set up for the spot that they did last week. They get the dog food out. The whole crowd is going, oh, again. And then
the Revival come out. And out of nowhere, and just hit a shatter machine on Big E because they can on the outside.
Because obviously setting up their match tomorrow night, and then you get Roman comes out. To a massive reaction.
It was a monster pop
and it's
for
so
Roman.
Good to see that their main babyface is getting a babyface reaction. I know it helps that everyone hates Corbin.
Totally, yeah.
But Roman got a huge reaction. He easily beat up pretty much everyone.
It was everyone. There was like 10 or so guards, I think, and the Revival and Ziggler and Corbin, and he just kind of beat them all up. I think he managed to get a Superman punch onto Corbin, but that was it. He didn't do too much else to him. So Corbin kind of scattered away. And there was one point where Reigns are beating everyone. Kofi was still kind of, hung up on the turnbuckle post. And Reigns picked up the dog food, and part of me was just like, heel turn. Reigns, put the dog food on Kofi. Do it. But no, obviously not. I put, do it, Reigns, do it. It would make no sense, but do it. Obviously he didn't. Ziggler then came back with a super kick on Reigns, and the Revival held him down on the commentary table. Ziggler got a little ladder, climbed up to the top and was going to dive off, but Reigns fought off the Revival, climbed up the ladder, and then chokeslammed Ziggler.
With a horrible bump.
Yeah, it was a horrible bump.
I don't know, he just went full floppy. And you never want to go full floppy when you're on a table. He just his whole body just kind of flopped in half.
Just saying, you never want to go full floppy is
no,
ever. That's just a quote now.
And then he sort of stood tall at the end.
He stood tall. So I will say, I don't like the story that they've done with Reigns and Corbin and the dog food and the dog mascot and all that stuff. I hate it. However, you can't deny that was a gigantic reaction that Roman got. So I guess the story's working.
The story has worked, and people have started to like Roman out of it. And
totally.
To be honest, if that's what your goal is, which is the goal because they're building him for Mania, and to win the Rumble and things like that, if that's the way it's going, then absolutely well done. But the problem here is that because your main champion is the Fiend, who only ever appears on backstage things, and he never wrestles, your top wrestling heel is Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
With his, to coin the phrase, whatever, mid-card of evil.
Mid-card vortex, yeah. Mid-card of evil.
And so every week I'm just thinking, I wonder what Baron Corbin did in the main event of SmackDown this week. And that's not a exciting thing for me. I don't wake up on a Saturday morning thinking, oh, great, I watched SmackDown this morning. Baron Corbin must have been in the main event.
Yeah.
It's an issue that they can't really solve now because Fiend's going to be champion probably until WrestleMania. So are we going to have 5 months of Baron Corbin in the main event facing just a variety of mid-card heel?
Maybe it'll be Sheamus when he comes back. Maybe he can take that slot off Corbin, and Corbin can go back to being really, really good in like the US or I guess the IC now title picture.
I can absolutely see Sheamus being singles star for 2 weeks and then joining Cesaro and Nakamura again.
3-week push.
Yeah.
You know it's going to happen. So overall, I thought this episode had some really fun stuff in the middle.
Had some really
stuff. The really fun stuff in the middle. The 2 tag matches in the middle of the show and the Fiend Miz segment I thought was brilliant.
There was enough to make it not a missable show.
Totally, yes. I'd say it was surrounded by Corbin and Reigns nonsense, but I guess it's working for some people. So overall, I gave this a 3 out of 5, a smack bang in the middle.
Yeah, I would have given it sort of, 3 out of 5. There were points where I was thinking 2 and a bit out of 5, but then I just thought, thinking back on it, I was like, okay, yeah, it was a perfectly acceptable show, and there was enough good stuff in there to make me forget the bad. Yeah. Just like last week, in fact.
Yeah, exactly that. Let's quickly see what you guys thought. We did a poll on our community YouTube tab earlier in the day. Asking what you guys thought of SmackDown, and 4% of people thought it was Smacknificent. 13% said Smacktastic. 58% said Smack Bang in the middle.
Wow, we're so right.
15% said Smackdowner, and 10% said a smack in the
don't
face.
Be so negative.
So it does seem generally that kind of middling 3 out of 5 range is what we're looking at for most people there.
Good, not great. Fine, not terrible.
Yeah,
either.
I wouldn't say it was actively damaging this week. Apart from the women's division.
No,
because that stuff is
but
damaging.
even that's not damaging. It's just kind of
totally
nothing.
Is, though. It totally is. If you look at where Alexa Bliss was and where she is now, that's a hell of a decline. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to get into the rest of your super chat shortly, but first we're just going to run through some Patreon shout-outs. So if you haven't become a Pledge Hammer on Patreon yet, why not? You should go to patreon.com/WrestleTalk. You can get a whole bunch of bonus content depending on what tier you pledge at. You can get access to Wrestle League, our Predictions League. You can get extra bonus podcasts of retro reviews with Ollie and Luke. You can get access to our drunk podcast called WrestleTalk After Dark, which is where we get very drunk and sweary and talk about stuff. It's cool. Plus a whole bunch of other stuff. And if you pledge at the $25 and above tier, you get your own personalized wrestling name and it gets shouted out on a show like this. So, thank you to Xandermania Running Wild. Woo! Well and you get a cheap pop as well.
Marcus, he's got soul. Campbell, it's a football joke.
Love it. Don't have a Shane Cowley, man.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Ooh, Roman Sparks.
You didn't do the hand motion. Do it again. The Titan, Owen Towers. Like Titan Towers, I get it.
The real boss, Matt Robinson.
Woo, yes. Just incredible Edelheit.
He is
thank
incredible.
You very much.
The Jester, Ryan Kester.
Woo, yes, thank you. Ari, the Boozerweight, Feldberg.
That's a good
great name.
And lastly for today, the Raven, Chris Alexander.
Woo, yes, thank you very much. Thank you. But for now, let's get into the rest of your Susu Super Chats. We got some more about the Miz Bray Wyatt angle. Kevin comes in to say the only guy that's actually not here when they say he's not here is Brock Lesnar.
He's got a point.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think that's probably something. I think Heyman has said that before, and Brock has been there. But yeah, I mean, you could say it any week, really.
Yeah. Wilson Simons comes in to say exactly the same thing. Brock Lesnar hasn't been there when they say he won't be here multiple times.
I was wrong.
Yeah. Wilson Simons again says, damn you, Kevin, for beating me to the punch. That's good. Tomo comes in to say, my 5-year-old niece didn't enjoy SmackDown, but since she loves Otis, she said SmackDown was awesome. Otis is amazing.
Yeah, he can make the show better. But I'm sorry your 5-year-old niece didn't enjoy the show.
Yeah.
She can watch the live stream tomorrow night. Maybe that'll be more to her taste.
Yeah, the TLC. The Prime Craig said, is it weird that I smile and laugh with sadistic things Bray Wyatt does? I find pleasure in it. Haha, let him in. Also, who will face Wyatt if it isn't Bryan? I see them changing WrestleMania plans. TBH.
It depends what kind of pleasure you're getting from it. If it's just kind of like, this is fun.
This is fun.
But if it's
if it's like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Bit weird.
Yeah. But no, I don't think they're going to have Bryan at WrestleMania anyway. I think it's going to be Roman at WrestleMania because they'll build the Fiend as a who can beat him.
Yeah, Bryan at Rumble.
And
Reigns at Mania.
Reigns at Mania.
I think, yeah. Sounds about right.
Do we want the Fiend in Elimination Chamber?
No. I'd want the Elimination Chamber match. That's really hard to say because if Roman wins the Rumble, then you'd want an Elimination Chamber match for the number one contender for the WWE Championship to see who's going to face Lesnar, assuming he's still got the title. And then you'd really want another Elimination unless they do a women's match. A
Raw Elimination Chamber match and have Velasquez win that.
Yeah, and then you have like maybe like the SmackDown Women's Title Elimination Chamber match
or
something like that.
Or 3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown.
Yeah, that works.
The winner gets to choose a title to go for, and if Velasquez wins, he'll obviously go for
But
Lesnar.
then the Rumble winner would have already been decided, so that wouldn't even make sense.
Okay, well then.
Okay, then just
draft.
Yeah. Aunicus said, the long handcuffs are actually meant to be put on the ankle so that a prisoner can move but not run.
I think you could still run in those. They are that long. I think you could do squats. No, not squats. Well, they're lunges in those things.
Yeah. John Jones says, the reactions from Roman and the Lashley storyline prove that WWE's core fans digest stories differently than the SWAF Nation. Vince is a genius?
Vince is a genius. I guess so.
Vince is an amazing detective / genius.
Yes, he is. That's nice. I like that.
That's a good reference.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm glad. I really like the fact that people can enjoy things that I don't. Because if everyone enjoyed the same things that I did and didn't enjoy the same thing that I did, everything would be very boring.
Yes, it would.
So yeah, no, good for you if you enjoy it. Absolutely more power to you.
Absolutely, yes. Some general WrestleTalk related super chats now. Da Train said, Michelle Rose and I agree. This is Datson's fault, talking about the technical difficulties we had before we started this stream.
I actually don't think it was anyone's fault.
It was literally because for whatever reason we pressed go live and it just said can't connect right now, try again. But we didn't see that until we'd already been streaming.
Well, I can say
like
it wasn't
7
my
minutes.
fault.
My lady partner comes in with a super chat saying, will you marry me, Peter Chawappa, Quinn Smell?
Is that me?
No.
Oh.
And I'll think about it. Adam Pearson says, happy Christmas to my 2 favourite people.
Oh, Adam, you're my favourite person too.
Adam's amazing. We love Adam.
Wonderful.
He's great. Andrew Harris says, good morning, MVP Datson and Chopper. When is Datson getting his own shirt? That's a good question.
I'm actually wearing a shirt right now.
That's true.
And it is mine. It's got mooses on it.
Well, in terms of merch, though, we'll have to... Meese?
No, it's I think I actually had this conversation with Brian on our... You may have heard Brian voice.
The brain.
Brian voice.
Brian voice.
Brian's voice. He is from Canada, and he said it's just moose singular. Moose singular and moose plural.
Meese. Louise Marie said, been so grateful for you guys lately. You've all been helping me get through a really tough time. My favourite channel. Well, thank you very much, Louise.
I hope it gets easier for you during the holiday season.
Duffs101 said, wait a minute, Luke's birthday's on the same day as Pete's? What are the chances?
I know, it's crazy. It's amazing how these things happen.
You're only the 3rd person to say that joke today. Zach Icon Littner said, happy birthday, Chopper Pete. Cheers. Spikebite Gaming said, listening live for the first time in a long time. A lovely time with the Chandy.
Is that going to be our thing?
Chandy?
Or Chopper Andy?
It's like a shandy.
It could just be Candy.
Worse. Candy is better because we're so sweet. That was bad. Kevin says, can anybody tell Andy that Liverpool is struggling to beat the last team in the league? Also, I was wondering why it took Roman forever to help Kofi.
Liverpool won 2-0. I don't see why that's a struggle. I mean, that's
How do you know they won 2-0? You've been checking the scores while we've been streaming. Datsun.
No, I get notifications. They pop up in the corner.
So, yes, you've been checking the scores while we've been streaming.
Technically not, because I would have had to go to another site. But that doesn't mean... Anyway, let's not talk about football.
Anyway, yes, why did it take Roman forever to help Kofi? Because he quite clearly had no problem dispatching of the guards.
He'd been there for a long time. He'd been there all night.
He was literally waiting there, just like, no, not now. Not now. I'll wait for the perfect time. Yeah. Oh, look. Yeah, he's got the handcuffs. Wait. Now he's in the position I was in last week. Now's the time. Let's go.
The real reason is because they had to fill 2 hours.
Yeah, totally. Zach Icon Lintner said, of course Datsun is a Slytherin. Evil man you are.
Now, that's a negative stereotype. Not all Slytherins are bad people. They're just...
Snape's good.
Snape's a bit of a... He's not very nice, but he's got good intentions overall. Malfoy,
he's not all bad. He's not evil.
Malfoy gets manipulated a lot, and then he turns out all right.
Yeah.
They're just cunning.
Thought you were going to say someone else then. Sean said, Chopper without a beanie and Randy Andy Datsun, keep up with the good work on YouTube and website, lads. Thank you very much.
So
also,
just keep no hat on.
I totally forgot to wear my beanie today. It was legit. I just forgot to wear it. I started walking out, and about 5 minutes away from my flat as I was walking, I was like, my head's really cold.
It's lucky
Why
you've
is
got
that?
Head of head. Keep you warm.
Anyway, last minute super chat here from Eric Bardouche, who said, don't forget the possibility of Brock versus Roman at Mania for the WWE title. I feel like Roman would get booed again, against The Fiend. He'd get booed against Lesnar, probably.
Yeah,
I really don't want him to do Lesnar again.
They'd have to do a draft.
They'd have to do a switch.
And I think even they have learned that match doesn't work as the main... Because if that was
They've
a
done
match,
it 5 times
it would be the main event.
Yeah. It would just be the worst.
And, I would much rather see Roman Fiend and Brock against someone else than Brock Roman again.
Yes. But that's all the super chats for now as well, and that's all the time we've got on this stream once again. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you everyone for super chatting in. Thank you to all our patrons that we read out earlier and all that. Please, if you're watching on catch up, press the videos that have just appeared on the desk to catch up with the latest awesome WrestleTalk things, and this button right here that'll make you a pledge hammer on Patreon. I've been Chopper Pequenell. This has been Randy Andy Datsun, and that was SmackDown.